Moving on to problem 2.5. We're still in millimeters, medium difficulty. Origin is located as indicated, asymmetric. Sketches are fully defined, line circles, slots. So we'll be introducing slots. Plane is not required. So with the origin being on this edge, kind of at the, assuming it's going to be at that lower corner, that's going to drive our first piece of geometry being along this face. All right, so again, front plane, top plane, and the right plane is going to be along this backside. Let's see, dimension-wise, there's not anything really too crazy here, so let's go ahead and just start building our geometry. We have an overall of 41, so a rectangle 41 will give us a good start. So new part millimeter, we're going into the front plane. We just need a regular corner rectangle. So the last couple of projects where we used the rectangle were center rectangles. We're going to switch back to corner. And I'm just looking for that relation to the origin. And we're going to drag that out. It is 78, so we'll get a little closer. Smart dimension 78 with a height. And it's saying 7 typical on the thickness, so we'll place 7. And then we're going to extrude. I do want it moving away from me, so we're going to extrude in the direction. Keep in mind I can drag the arrow, but I can also just hit the toggle button and reverse the direction of that model by doing that geometry. All right, so the 25, well, that goes to the outside edge. So let's see, let's drag this back in real quick and make sure I know what I'm looking at. So on this back face, the 41 was the overall. So if I open up a sketch on the back face of the boss I just created, create this kind of triangular shape, then, all right, so rotating around, clicking on it, opening up the sketch, but my frame of reference is kind of skewed. So I'm either going to switch back to isometric or the front view. So I'm looking at it in the orientation that makes the most sense. All right, so this is one of the places where we can use the relations to our advantage in that I can draw another rectangle. And yes, it is automatically parallel and horizontals and verticals all the way around. So I do want to attach that corner by dragging that endpoint and making it go coincident. But then we're either going to select that top line and its relation, or select the top line and come over to its existing relations, and one of those we're going to hit delete. And what that gives us the ability to do is, rather than drawing all the way around in one shot, I have my geometry that I can go directly into creating the angle. All right, so we have 25 degrees. Okay, so that looks a little steep, but yeah, it's all right. And I think that's pretty much all I need for it to be 7 millimeters thick. So into the features, extrude. And after doing all of these contours and regions, it's easy to get into that mindset of looking down here. Notice it's collapsed because this is a continuous region. It doesn't have, there isn't anything there to select. I do want to make sure that my direction, not going that way, we come over to the toggle, reverse the direction, and the overlap, since we're merging these entities, the solid into a solid has no net result of the volume or the mass. So it does clean out that geometry. I'm going to go ahead and just do a little placeholder here for the angle. And I am just going to draw the three sides. Right click, go into the Smart Dimension, or come up to the Command Manager. And this is also going to be 7 millimeters, and I want to do that middle mouse button rotate so that I'm seeing it come the right direction. All right, so this would create a separate body because again, we have 0 thickness edges. It's not going to be able to merge those going in that direction. So it is automatically going to create a second body. So let's reverse it so the merge actually takes place and gets it into location. All right, so far so good. We are going to come back to this one and see if we can do the rib function, which we don't get very much, get a chance to do very often. So when I can illustrate it, I do take advantage of that. All right, so the sketch then, and then this is a partial. All right, so we need to take a look at this because in the auxiliary view, 10 off of the edge, and then we have our geometry somewhere 45 overall. So I am looking at generating all of that. So 10 typical, I'm going to take that to mean off of both ends. So we open up the, we have the sketch open, and we're going to go ahead and include the outside. All right, so I have that overlap, so when I dimension this, since it was 45, I can go directly to that geometry. And again, it doesn't hurt, doesn't necessarily, well, it does help in that I can do that one dimension. All right, so from the edge, that did get the midpoint. It doesn't appear to have done anything too strange, so we'll go ahead and leave it. Sometimes the midpoints do have some unexpected results. So our keyway is going to use the straight slot, and we have the option between a center point, and the straight is just going to be in point to end point. So we pick the first point, we pick the second point, and then we pull the slot out, and that gives us our geometry. All right, so it is centered maybe. Oh, there it is, the 20. So we're going to come from that center line over to the edge, 20. We have a dimension of 8. All right, if I pick the radius or pick the arc, then I have to account for the radius. If I just go line to line, then I'm reproducing pretty close to what's in the geometry. All right, we're going to go 20, and that gets me to position. And then our circle is a diameter of 18. All right, and even though this is going to show up as a contour and region, we're not going to have to worry about picking any of that geometry as a cut because it's all included. If I'd done this as a separate sketch, then I would have to pick a few more items in that that geometry. So let's go ahead and set this up for the extrude, and it is showing coming towards us. We're going to reverse that, and the 7 millimeters going that way, and we'll go ahead and select. That does have a self-intersecting, so yeah, I do need to pick the region. Notice it picked the edge of the extrude. It's not a big deal. If I really wanted to, I could pick the other edge, but that's enough geometry to tie it together. All right, so let's go ahead and save this as our 2-5, and then our value for the mass properties, we have 62,810, and I'm at 63,909. All right, so another fun one. Oh, there we go. I missed two holes. So easy to overlook. Let's go ahead and drop those in real quick. And my moments are still showing up, so somewhere I managed, there it goes. Somewhere I managed to click out of my mass properties and leave that open. So let's get those last two holes in there. Just open up the sketch, draw a couple circles, make the centers horizontal, the two outsides equal, and diameter of 10. And off of the outside edge. So I am going to suppress that one, or at least try to, and hopefully it won't mess with that too much. And we have the 20 millimeters, and it did not give me a typical, and it does not give me a center to center. So we're going to try the 20 millimeters, and then we'll go, oops, missed. So we'll just reapply it. And from the bottom edge, we can go 12. All right, and that's just a feature, extrude cut, and through all or up to next. And let's see if that got us a little bit closer. Mass properties. All right, 2809.5. All right, we'll take that as a round up and say we're pretty darn close on that one. All right, so one more save. And let's go back to Boss Extrude 3. One of the things we're going to use with the dynamic reference, if I can move that out of the way, is it's tied to these other shapes. So if I go down through Extrude 1, Extrude 2, and Extrude 1, but nothing is tied to Extrude 3, which means that I can suppress it without any issues. All right, so it's been a while since I've done rib, so I'll see how much trouble I can get myself into here. We're going to draw the shape. Nice thing is that it doesn't always have to be complete, but I do need that dimension in there for it to, and relations for it to tie together. All right, so over in the features, we're going to look for the rib, and it's going to default to a midplane. If we go to the outside or to the inside, then 7. And again, we have one of those little arrows that is pointing it. That's an interesting shade. We have one of those little arrows that is pointing it in the direction that it's going to go. And we're going to see what happens when we click OK. Is it easier? No, but it's kind of cool when you have, I think some of the plastic injection models will probably use one. I think there's an ice tray coming up, or one of those. We'll use the rib more directly in the future, but it is an alternative mechanism to create our geometry.